So I hope that everyone is happy and safe in their homes and is taking the necessary precautions, using hand sanitizer, washing your hands, and wearing masks right now because it is very important for your health. Today, instead of your usual class, we are going to talk about speeches, and we're going to write a speech, or at least a speech outline, because I want each of you to create a unique speech based on this topic. So the topic that we have is, what technologies do you think will exist in the future? So this is a fun question to think about because technology is rapidly advancing, and there may be some things that you will see in the future that you have absolutely no idea about. And I want to talk to you about some possible technologies that are already being made and their useful application, and also how to write this speech. So in the beginning, you have a greeting with the hook. So you're saying hello to your audience, and at the same time you're trying to grab their attention. So we greet them by stating something like this: my dear audience. So it's much better than just saying ladies and gentlemen. That is a very cliched phrase. Or hello everybody, which is too casual. This includes all people in the audience that are about to hear your speech. So this is important, and I am emboldening it, okay? So, what are we talking about? We're talking about technology. So, I would write this: I would like to take some time to talk about technology. Technology, as you know, is gisul, right? But we are not just talking about technology, we are talking about technology that is going to exist in the future. So, here is our kind of hook. But not just any technology. The technology of the future. Now, at this point, the audience's attention has been captured, but there is still the question of, why are you talking about this? What is the purpose of this speech? So you can even ask the question yourself, directly to the audience: why? The reason is simple. And you go on to explain the fact that we live in the age of information. Before it was the Industrial Revolution, the age of industry, but now it is the age of information, and it's all possible through the use of technology, and most of all computers and the internet. We are sharing information like we've never done before, and working globally to create new things and better things for all kinds of purposes. So, the age of information. This is important. So, it is an age where our economy is less based on traditional industry, but rather is based sorry about that rather is based on information technology. And going off of this, we're going to talk about the importance of future technology. So, first of all, it's important to think of a way that we can improve, invent, and innovate to help us in our lives in order to further them, so make them even better. So that's what we are going to write. So it is important to think about how we can improve, invent, and innovate to help us further our lives. And just for a moment, let's look at some of these things. Some words may not be clear here, so I want to show you their meanings. So first, economy, age of information. Okay. The age of information. This is what comes after the age of industry. Okay? Otherwise known as the Industrial Revolution. Economy. In case some of you don't know, is this. Gyeonggi, okay? So this is very important, the way that money flows and the way that we manufacture products and the way that we communicate all come together through information technology. That's why thinking about the future of this is very, very important. So next we have the body of the speech, because this is just like an introduction. We can even write that here. Introduction to speech. The body of the speech. So the easiest way to do this is to think of 3 kinds of new technologies that may exist in the future. You would begin by saying something like this. So, what technologies could best help to further our lives in the future? See, we are going and connecting this part into the body as a form of transition. And the list is immeasurable. A simple template for how you would do this speech, very similar to an essay. So first, I think we will have what in the future? Robots, hoverboards, maglev trains all over the world, hyperloops, these sorts of things. I have more examples that I will show you, but I just wanted to show you this kind of template. So first, I think we will have this in the future, this technology. So you have to write what it is, just in case people don't know. So you're explaining that first, and then it would be good to explain why the technology would be useful in the future. I think this technology will be useful because, and that's where you're doing most of your writing and preparation for the speech. And it follows the exact same format. This is the easiest kind of format that you have. Try not to write just one sentence, useful because it can help us, something like that. No. How can it help us? Useful in what situations? So think about the why and how questions. Lastly, I think we will have this in the future. This technology is, what is it? You have to do that work on your own. Now, in terms of the template, we have the farewell, which is the closing, the conclusion of the speech. So, a typical farewell would be, thank you for listening to my speech. And I hope it makes you dream of a better and improved future. You don't just say thank you and walk away. You connect it back to what you have written about. That is very important. That is a transition for a smooth delivery of a presentation. And just a little something, because it is already in the process happening. So that kind of farewell would get people excited, and they would also feel gratitude that you thanked them for listening. And it connects back to everything that you wrote. Another way of doing this is to restate maybe some of these technologies that you have written down, and write a closing statement about that. This is just the most basic kind of template. Now, as for the technologies, there is a list of things that you may know about, may not know about. So consider these ideas. Number one, nanobots. What are nanobots? Nanobots are tiny robots that have different functions. So, probably the most important nanobot that will be useful in the future is a medical nanobot. So this is an engineered machine, probably with artificial intelligence technology, that will help cure diseases in the future. Okay? And just to help you remember, so tiny robots that do certain tasks. This would be especially useful if the robot could detect problems in your body automatically and go through your bloodstream and enter that area and actually have the tools to repair it. Another one that you may not have thought of, self-healing building materials. So we can even find pictures of this on the internet. So first of all, nanobots. As you can see here, this is an example of a nanobot repairing DNA. This is a nanobot that is doing something to a blood cell. All very possible and all worked on already and will be ready in the future. Self-healing building materials. See, right away we have self-healing concrete. This is the broken concrete when it is originally broken. 5 days, 10 days, 20 days. 5 days, 10 days, 20 days with the self-healing concrete. Okay? So that is very much possible. Yeah, so this kind of material is being worked on right now. It can self-heal, reproduce. So it reproduces itself to create the parts of it that are missing or damaged. Next, we can have improved virtual reality that interacts with the five senses. So as you know, the five senses are sight, what we see, touch, what we feel, smell, what we hear, and what we taste. This kind of virtual reality could be very useful for gaming and obviously for watching movies. It creates a new reality in which the user is completely immersed. So it feels like it's really happening in real life. So that is being worked on. This one is also practical in application: worldwide internet access. How? Through the use of micro satellites. Just as the computer chip has gotten smaller and smaller, we are also able to build satellites that are smaller and smaller in size. If they are small, they are easier to launch and put into the orbit of the Earth. So if you put many of these satellites out there, then people can use the internet in remote locations, and this is already being done, especially for research that is being done in Antarctica and the upper and lower extremities of the Earth. Okay, also useful for countries that have poor internet connection, like Africa, for example, and other third world countries. Improved transportation technology. So in some of our classes we talked about this. The first thing that comes to mind is the hoverboard. Not this, but let's say futuristic, because this has not been made yet. So this would be a hoverboard. You see no wheels, nothing underneath. It is levitating. Levitate. Okay, very good. So there's that. Hyperloop trains, this you may not have heard of. So here's an example. These are trains that pass through a tunnel that is in a vacuum, so there is no air inside of this tunnel, allowing the train to move much faster, about the speed of an airplane. And there is already one Hyperloop being constructed in California right now. Okay, in terms of transportation again, we are going to have faster charging electrical cars. So these cars are going to have better batteries, because this is the main consequence of owning an electric vehicle, the fact that you have to, number one, find a place to charge it, because it has a special charger, and second of all, the time that it takes to charge the battery, because the battery is incredibly huge. There are many different batteries at the same time that are being charged. So that is important. We have the problem of global warming, so we have to use cleaner transportation methods. Okay. Just as I was mentioning about the nanobots, there will also be improved medical technology. An example of this, there are shirts that are being produced that measure one's heart rate from tiny sensors that are embedded, that are inside of the shirt. So this is incredibly useful for people with heart conditions or people that are into fitness and want to measure their blood pressure and heart rate. Call them smart shirts. And also another example are smart needles that are being produced right now. Smart needles what they do is they detect cancer much faster, so more quickly and more effectively than any other form of cancer detection. Because the sooner you realize that you have the cancer, the easier it is to help it go into remission, which is make it go away, to cure it. Okay. Improved fuel sources. One good idea would be biofuel. So the food waste that we produce, or any other kind of waste, garbage that we produce, if we can turn that into fuel, it not only eliminates the problem of pollution, but it creates a more sustainable, energy efficient, and healthy fuel source. waste. They're experimenting this with coffee now, used coffee, in order to create it into food. Fuel. And just two more examples. Artificial intelligence. So we know about AI, but we don't know the exact possibilities of conscious computers. So these are computers that can figure out how to solve problems by themselves, by using the data that they collect from anything. So with this type of AI, a robot can learn how to walk, how to talk, how to interact with people, how to read emotions. Basically anything a human can do and much, much, much more. That would revolutionize robotic technology. So conscious computers. That can figure out how to solve problems by themselves, using data analysis. So some of the words here, let's see. So if you did not understand, nanobot, okay, it just says nanorobot. Nanobot, analysis, biofuel, virtual reality, worldwide, and one other thing I missed was for the transportation, urban transport pods. So these are like self-driving vehicles where you enter your destination and the car just travels on its own and takes you there. You get off, probably have to pay, and the car goes back on its own route. And that's it. There are many things that you can research that will be coming up in the future. So I hope you prepare a beautiful speech with the time that you have, and bring it back next week. So thank you very much for listening to my speech about speeches. I hope it wasn't too boring. Thank you, and most of all, stay healthy during these days. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.